Hi guys, Korean movie recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to recap one of the best Korean war movies released in 2011, called The Front Line. This movie tells the story of a South Korean soldier who is assigned to investigate a case in the middle of the civil war between South Korea and North Korea. When he wanted to investigate the case, he was actually involved in a war that was so terrible. Moreover, he also discovered some new facts that were not known by the government. What will happen next? Let's find out together. At the beginning of the film, it is shown that negotiations are underway to end the Korean War. However, when determining the division of territorial boundaries, a dispute arose between the two camps. Aerok Hill became a contested place for both camps and no results were achieved, so the meeting ended in vain. After a while, a lieutenant named Kang from the investigative division was assigned to the front line on Aerok Hill. His superiors suspect a traitor to the South Korean troops who served there because a captain was found shot dead using a South Korean army weapon. Before leaving, Kang was told that there was also a friend there who he thought had died from being detained by North Korean soldiers. The next day, Kang arrived at Aerok Hill with several other soldiers. While doing the briefing, someone named Hyuk suddenly appears, who is none other than Kang's old friend. Finally, they chatted while reminiscing about the past. Then, Kang gives Hyuk the necklace he still kept when they parted. In the evening, a party is held to welcome their new captain. Suddenly an old man came and talked about the war they had 2 years ago. Hearing this, his friend asked him to stop talking about the war that had been going on for a long time. After that, everyone there became gloomy, thinking about their fate in the war and also the fate of the family they might leave behind forever. In the morning, the captain woke the soldiers and informed them that Aerok Hill had been taken over by North Korea. As they head to the battlefield, they see North Korean soldiers building a bunker. Then one of them disguised himself as a North Korean soldier and came up to them. Instantly, the North Korean army could be paralyzed. Then, they went and blew up the bunker. Finally, they arrived at the trench and joined the rest of the army. After that, Allied bombers bombarded the North Korean-held Aerok Hills. After the bombing was over, the South Korean troops advanced and attacked the North Korean troops. After going through such a fierce war, South Korean troops managed to reclaim Aerok Hill. After that, Hyuk and company entered the bunker to eat and drink there. Seeing this, Kang was confused and asked where the food and drink supplies came from. One of them replied that all this came from the North Korean army. Then, Kang points a gun at those who suspect them of being traitors. Finally, Hyuk says that Aerok Hill has changed hands more than 30 times. Both South Korean and North Korean soldiers left their belongings in the bunker. Not only goods, there are also letters from North Korean troops that were entrusted to be sent to his family in South Korea. Hearing this, Kang lowered his gun and left, but Hyuk followed suit. Then Kang again asks about the death of a captain in the squad. According to Hyuk, the captain committed suicide while running away from battle. Hyuk also tells the location of the captain's corpse and asks Kang to get away from Aerok Hill before he is killed. But Kang refused because he felt the investigation was not finished. In the afternoon, Kang came to the river where the captain's body was. There, he found a helmet that had bullet holes in it and felt his investigation was futile. When he was about to leave, he was surprised by a woman named Kyung who claimed to be a local resident and had just passed by. Later, Kang gave her chocolates and asked her to go home. The next day, war broke out again in Aerok Hill until several times they took and lost control of the place. Long story short, the South Korean army again managed to seize the hill. Hyuk and his friends head back to the bunker to open goods from North Korea. In the pile of items, there is a letter containing a photo of a woman who was asked to be sent to her parents. And it turns out that the photo is a photo of Kyung that Kang met at the river earlier. Hyuk is dumbfounded, then he keeps the photo and tells Kang that the woman in the photo is his future wife. After a while, there was information about the troops in the north losing contact. According to their superiors, the troops had been killed by North Korean snipers. Later, Hyuk formed a team to investigate. After that, they descended the hill to the north and found nothing. Suddenly, one of them got shot out of nowhere and made the other soldiers take cover. Hyuk, who already knew the whereabouts of the snipers, asked the headquarters to bomb the place. After that, they rushed to the place to look for the sniper's corpse but found nothing. On the other hand, Kang, who is mourning the death of his friend, sees someone passing in front of him. He immediately chased after the person. When he managed to catch up, Kang could only be silent because the sniper was Kyung, the person he met before. Finally, Kyung left freely, leaving Kang, who was still silent. When they returned to base, one of the soldiers took another soldier hostage and asked the whereabouts of his army. Then, his friend angrily replied that they had all died during the war in Pohang. Flashback: just then, the desperate South Korean soldiers tried to escape by boat. But unfortunately, there was only one ship there and many South Korean soldiers were unable to board the ship. But they kept trying to get on, which caused the ship to be unable to sail. Suddenly, there was a firefight between fellow South Korean soldiers inside and outside the ship. In the end, many South Korean soldiers died because of that. Flashback end. On the other hand, North Korean troops are devising a strategy to start a war. With help from other countries, they plan to attack directly at the headquarters of the South Korean army. Hearing the news, the captain ordered the South Korean troops to fight them. However, one of them refused to know that the South Korean troops were outnumbered. But stubbornly, the captain called the man a dissident and pointed a gun at him. In the end, they had to obey their captain's ridiculous directions. In the evening, the South Korean troops were already in a position to wait for the opponent. Suddenly, rain fell and blocked their view. From a distance, it seemed that there were too many enemy troops. Finally, that's the moment when a shootout occurred between the two camps. After that, Kang and his friends reported to their captain that they were going to lose and asked him to withdraw the troops. After the captain contacted the base, it turned out that they were not allowed to retreat. During a dispute between them, Hyuk suddenly shoots the captain and says he will lead them all and then orders his troops to retreat. Kang, who doesn't accept Hyuk's actions, points a gun at him. Seeing that, Hyuk challenges Kang to kill him on the condition that Kang is responsible for securing the rest of his army. Hearing that, Kang felt helpless and slowly lowered his gun. Then, they rushed to escape from the attack of the North Korean army. In the morning, Kang and Hyuk again argue about the captain's murder. Suddenly, their friend is shot by Kyung, the sniper from North Korea. In fact, Hyuk was also shot in the stomach. Later, they split up to divert Kyung. However, Hyuk instead tries to shoot the sniper back. But when he finds out that the sniper is Kyung, Hyuk doesn't shoot her and instead gets shot again by Kyung. Before Hyuk died, he tells Kang that the South Korean and North Korean troops have killed each other, so they deserve to go to hell. After a while, the South Korean headquarters received a ceasefire announcement. All the soldiers are happy that they don't have to fight anymore until they see Kang carrying Hyuk's body back to base. Suddenly, their cheers stopped and were replaced by cries of sorrow. After that sad moment, they washed themselves in the river. Suddenly, North Korean troops are seen passing by. Those who were still used to fighting reflexively brandished their weapons. Then, the South Korean soldiers said goodbye to the North Korean soldiers. Those who are actually brothers were forced to separate because of the war. Suddenly, Kang approaches Kyung and returns the photo that Hyuk previously kept. Then, Kyung looked at the photo and saw that Hyuk's name was there. Moments later, a commander came to the South Korean headquarters and read out the contents of the ceasefire agreement. However, it turned out that the deal only took effect at night. So there are still a few more hours until this deal is recognized. Then the commander asked them to fight it out until the deal took effect. Likewise with the North Korean side, who were asked to fight it out in the remaining time. After that, they got ready in the trenches. Some of them started crying because they had to go back to war. Suddenly there was the sound of soldiers singing songs in the vanguard from the north side. North Korean soldiers sing a song that reflects the plight of frontline fighters with wisdom. Then, the South Korean soldiers greeted them by singing along. After the chant was over, the final battle on Aerok Hill began. Bravely, South and North Korean troops fought for their territory. One by one, they fell. Even when their ammo runs out, they kill each other with makeshift weapons. At the end of the movie, Kyung, who is still alive, tries to shoot the remaining South Korean soldiers. Kang, who passed by, was shot in the leg. Unfortunately, Kyung's bullet runs out and is finally killed by Kang with a knife stuck in her chest. After that, the only remaining North Korean captain from North Korea is visited by Kang, the only remaining member of the South Korean army. The captain was already seriously injured and just waiting to die. Finally, the ceasefire announcement was heard over the radio, but they just laughed at the announcement. Shortly after, the North Korean captain died. After that, Kang walks down Aerok Hill with corpses covering the hill and the movie ends. There was never a good war, or a bad peace, Benjamin Franklin. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.